Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a baby pink spiral to go into the playlist Dharma's Dye Swatches. Start by smoothing out all of the wrinkles in your shirt and then give it a little pinch where you want the center of your spiral to be. Now I'm using the microwave splatter guard for this and a hemostat. I got both of these off of Amazon, and I do have links for them down below in the description box along with everything else that I use, so go ahead and check that out. Now I give the hemostat a couple of twists, but then I use my opposite hand to create the pleats and actually make the spiral. Now it's time to secure your spiral, and I like to use rubber bands, but you could also use kite string. It really is just a matter of preference. That spiral looks pretty messy, so what I like to do is pull on all of the loose tails and tuck them into the nearest rubber band, and I will go around and around as many times as it takes, making a nice tight spiral. This way, if you have to pick up your spiral or flip it over anything during the dyeing process, it has a less chance of falling apart on you. Alright, that took a few minutes, but it really is worth it to take the extra time to make yourself a nice tight spiral. It really shows in the final result. And next you want to build yourself some type of an ice barrier, and I like to use these silicone cake molds. Also, when applying the cake molds, I like to go with the direction of the spiral. That way it helps tuck in all of those little bits and pieces that are still sticking out from the rubber bands. Now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye. And this one is being dyed flat on the rack. There is no incline on this one. And I'm just going to be dyeing 2 pieces of the pie. I'm adding the dye a little heavier handed than I normally do because it has been my experience with ice dyeing with baby pink that it has a tendency to want to disappear. And I'm using the back of the spoon to just help smooth it out. Next, I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash, and I only add it to the areas that have the dye. And now it's time to pack on the ice. And for this project, I'm going to be using the hexacubes. And these are great little trays that I got from Amazon. And again, the links are down below in the description box. It's a good idea when working with these trays that you let them sit out for about a minute. Otherwise, it's really difficult to get the ice cubes out. Before you fill the tray back up with water and stick it in the freezer, make sure you rinse it out really well. You'd be surprised at how much dye gets on your fingers. Even if you don't touch it, it just seems to crawl straight up the ice cubes. So after the first layer of ice melted, I came back and checked the back, and as I suspected, there wasn't much saturation. So I flipped it over and I'm just going to repeat the process on the back side that I did on the top side. I give the project another quick little sprinkle of soda ash to help keep that pH around 10.5 to 11, and then I'm going to add ice. And this time I just use the nugget ice because it's quick and easy, and I let it batch for 48 hours after the ice melts. So this shirt batched for 48 hours wrapped inside of an electric blanket, and I do have a tutorial on that if you're curious about what I'm talking about. So it's time for the rinse out, and you want to start by using cold water to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric. And you really want to make sure to get all that soda ash out, especially if you're working with white. And then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs basically clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine and I do however many hot water cycles it takes using Kirillon. And I use a little clear plastic cup, and in the hot water cycle, usually on the second hot water cycle, I scoop it up, the water, and I look at it, and if it's clear, I know that I'm ready for my final hot water cycle with Millsoft. A Millsoft is a professional fabric softener that I get from Dharma Trading Company. I also get the Kirillon from Dharma. I get pretty much all my dye supplies from Dharma. And then I put it in the dryer, and then I iron it, and we come back and we see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our baby pink ice-dyed spiral after it's been washed and dried, and I think it turned out really good. I like this shirt a lot. I usually call these a two-line spiral, well, because there's, two lines of the pink. So it's a pretty color. It doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. The whole point of doing these, as you know, is to see what colors are going to split out of it. And the first thing that jumps out at me is that blue line. And, I'm not a huge fan of that blue line, but, it's what baby pink is capable of. And also the golden yellow and sort of the orangey amber color. That's real pretty. But if you are ice dyeing and you're hoping for just an all pink shirt, well, this might not be the color for that. Where there's a high concentration of the dye, that's the really dark pink. And then the lighter color is where it's diffused by the ice. So, it's a pretty color. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I have pretty much all of the pinks. And so, when I run out of baby pink, for me, I don't know that I would necessarily buy it again. And then here is the liquid swatch against the ice dye, so you can see the difference between the two. I kind of think it's prettier as a liquid dye. So what do you guys think of baby pink? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing.